show like this, and then we'll be live. It's great. Hi. Good morning.
Hey,
Welcome to
udah
the Go
selamat
to Joe show. Oh,
kemana-mana,
who's
Senono.
he's
Senono, blah, blah, blah. Waka cha cha. Waka baka. Remember that guy? Did you ever play that game?
No, I don't
That-
actually remember that game.
Waka baka guy. That guy?
Is that from
Remember that?
Crash Bandicoot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did play
So
that
I
game.
guess I do remember that
You run
guy.
along, and then you run into a box, and waka baka. There's the
It's like the
guy.
mask, the floating mask, or whatever it is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. We're dating
I love
ourselves
that guy.
here in
He was
case
so great.
anyone didn't know how old we are. We're 19 and 26.
Yes.
And I'll let you choose which of us is which.
I date
Um,
myself all the time. I'm married, so I get to date myself.
oh, yeah, that sounds about
I'll
right.
I'll allow that, I
That
suppose.
that checks
This
out.
early in the morning, I don't want to think about this though. Moving on.
Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to the Double Cup of Joe show. Good morning to be here. I am your host Joe.
Yes, and I'm also Joe.
So together we're here to make your morning go a little bit more good,
Yes.
or something like that. So we're glad you're here.
Something.
It's good to see you, Sparrow, Lilia, Raka. Psyche was here. We had a couple of new people here. Feel free to hang out in the chat, talk about whatever ninjala is. I don't know what that sounds like, the ninja sword or something. Um, so yeah. Anyway, feel free to hang out, chat with us. We're going to be doing our three-step routine and then getting right into our topic this week of patience. We're wrapping it up. We have dealt with this long enough. We've patiently
Yes.
dealt with this topic. And so we're going to wrap it up today. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and start with our three-step routine, which Joe has indicated previously here. It's like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell.
Three. Uno, dos, tres.
That's three steps, but I don't think that was it, Joe. Just
That's
sec.
not the one. That's different.
That's the other one. Ah!
Yes.
A three-step
That's the
routine.
3-step process for the end of the show.
Oh, dang it. Dang it. I started the wrong.
Although you can put that in the middle and the beginning, you can just do that randomly. It's like the other 3-step process. You can just do it anytime throughout the day. Like, subscribe, ring the bell.
Any
And we'll
time of
just
the day.
randomly we'll just say that throughout the show. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. And
Subliminal
then people will get
messages.
annoyed and they'll do the opposite. They'll unsubscribe, and they'll kick the bell.
Kick the bell. So go to Taco Bell.
Go, yes.
Sponsor of the day. Just kidding. Uh, the Anywho, so we actually have a three-step routine. It's not the same as this. It is some questions you can ask yourself to get your mind focused and going the right direction in the morning. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with that. That's actually the three questions we have for you, for us, forever. Is what are you thankful for? What are you looking forward to? And what are you going to do today to move your life forward? Very simple questions, kind of get you focused in the right direction. So I'm going to ask Joe so he can kind of get his day started in the right way, asking him what he is thankful for this morning. So, Joe.
I am thankful for this show. I'm thankful that we get to do this show. I'm thankful that as we are planning some adjustments to this show. It's hopefully gonna be for the better. Yeah, I'm just thankful that we get to do this and that we've gotten to do this together and get into this routine and everything. It's been awesome. And I'm looking forward to, well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm thankful for this show. I'm thankful for all of you guys that come to this show, and I'm thankful for you.
Aw. Thanks, Joe. we're thankful for you too. Um,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, that's step number one. Find something you're thankful for. Maybe it's this show, and we're glad if you're thankful for this show. Maybe it's tacos. Whatever. It can be whatever you want. So, anywho, we're gonna go on to step number two,
Two.
which
Dos.
is what are you looking forward to? So I'm gonna go ahead and ask Joe. So what are you looking forward to?
You know, right now I am looking forward to a myriad of belt tests that are in my future. Belt testing for Taekwondo. Um, I have a belt test today. It's my one of my recommended black belt midterms. So I get to do that today. My youngest son, though, he is testing for his first degree black belt tomorrow. My oldest son is already a black belt. He is testing. He's doing one of his midterms today as well. But the big event is my youngest son tomorrow. He's going to finally, if he passes his test, he'll be a black belt, and he's 8 years old, and he's going to be a black belt at 8,
Hmm.
which that's pretty amazing. And then so now for the rest of his life, from the time he's 8 until the end of his life, he will be able to say he's a black belt, and that's pretty cool.
It is. Dang.
Yep.
I can say
A
wear a black belt pretty consistently, but I don't think I'd call myself a black belt.
Yes. Yep. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. So we actually do have to go to the martial arts studio for that. My test and my oldest son's test, we can do those on Zoom and do it remotely. But since the test for black belt is such a big deal, they needed him to actually come to the studio. So we arranged for him to have a private.
Ooh.
So because social distancing, he actually has a compromised immune system, so we have to be a little bit careful with him and his interactions. But they were really cool. They've arranged it to do that, so yeah, I'm looking forward to going there and being a part of that. And
Dang. That's exciting. Let's go. Joe and his family of small ninjas. Um, yeah, we talked about it already in the show. Joe's raising ninjas. He is a ninja. In case you didn't know, nobody's seen him do the crazy things that he does. Like a superhero, but without the cape, which makes him cooler.
I don't have room to demonstrate back here.
Mm-hmm.
I can demonstrate punches, but I'll probably hit my microphone. Then
Keep your secrets, Joe. Keep your secrets. Anyway, that's step
that's
number two. That's what you're looking forward to. It can be a lot of things. There's lots of cool things coming up in your life. You just got to think about them for a second. So that leads us into step number three.
three.
Three, which is what are you going to do today to move your life forward?
You didn't even say my name.
Joe. Joe, what are you going to do today to move your life
Wow,
forward?
yes, man. You can tell Joe just got up. Welcome to the daytime, Joe.
It's not
It's
daytime.
day.
Oh, you're right. There's some light out there.
There is light outside.
I live
It's
in the
daytime.
forest, Joe. The
Yeah, I
forest is
know. I
dark and
know.
scary. I mean, dark.
But you're getting beat up by the birds. The birds beat you up.
Yes, that happens on a regular basis. If I've ever seen the Alfred Hitchcock movie, The Birds, that's what my life is like.
See, now I beat the birds up
Oh,
because I'm up before they start chirping. Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I'm not letting no birds beat me up.
Mm.
They say the early bird catches the worm. I got all kinds of worms. Yeah.
Probably don't want to tell people that on stream. Anyway, Joe, 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 what are you gonna do today
What am I gonna
to
do?
move the other forward?
Today I'm gonna continue working on this show and creating it as a production actually, and then as a podcast and everything. Like we're moving in this direction to actually fully produce and edit this to make it a good standalone show. I'm going to continue working on that system and hopefully get a whole bunch of episodes finished. That'd be really cool. So that's what I'm going to do today.
Nice. Joe is the best. I totally agree, Psyche. Um, dang,
Even
that's
with all the worms I got.
yes, even with all the worms. Um, uh, so anyway, that's our 3-step routine. It's pretty quick. If you go through it right, you're just asking yourself a series of questions to get your mind kind of focused in the right way, and that'll kind of get you moving in the right direction to start your day. That's why we do it in the morning, and that's why we recommend you do it in the morning. But you can do it anytime you want, like Joe said, um, and you can get your mind refocused. So from there, we can kind of slide into our topic. Today we're wrapping up patience, which we've been talking about for 3 days now. Today's the fourth day, and we are really excited because next week we're gonna have a brand new topic, which is actually pretty related, um, that we can go over, and I'm really excited for next week's. Um, so, but today we
Me
have
too.
to wrap up patience, and in order to do that, we've got Joe over here, who is the wrapper of things, and he's gonna swing it whatever way he wants. Um, yeah, this is
Like that.
this is what happens when I'm a little bit tired and Joe does things that throw me off. I honestly think some of the things he does are on purpose because he
They
knows.
are. I'm trying to wake you up, man. I wish I could like reach over there and smack you on the head. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
get up. Time to be awake.
Well, I can't do
There
it.
you
Let's try,
go.
try to
Good.
reach out over the
Do
screen, so
it.
I can't. I can't. Can't sell it very well. Um.
Yeah, doesn't work.
uh,
Even when I throw things at you, you do a pretty good job of making it look like I actually threw it at you. But
one day we'll just have this set up like this. It'll look the same, and then like I'll just walk over to like your screen. Like actually, we'll be in the
yeah,
same
we'll actually be
place.
in the same room. That'd be so funny. I thought you guys like. I thought you like did like remotely from each other.
Tricked
Did we?
you. This looks like a wall, but it's not.
Imagine Joe in a tracksuit, shades, and a beanie, dropping some bars on a bebop track.
I'm excited for this plan. The weirdest thing you've ever thought. No, no, no. Best thing you've ever thought of.
Best thing. Best thought ever. He's talking about you, though. You do
Mm-mm.
realize
No, no.
he's not talking about me. He's talking about you,
Joe, one of us is an actual musician, and the other of us is not at all a musician.
dude. But totally, you could do it.
I might be able to, but I need to know how heavy the bars are and what kind of train a bebop is that it goes on a bebop track.
Well, mostly you need to worry about the tracksuit, the shades, and the beanie. We'll get you all.
The bars and the
Yeah,
bebop.
we'll get you the bars and the bebop.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, maybe it's like the kind of bars you go for food at. I don't know. I'm very confusing, Rocco. How dare you say such things that are so confusing? Misinterpret everything you say. Uh, Anyway, Joe. Oh, Joe froze. Oh, he's back. Good
All
news.
right,
Good
let's do
news.
it.
Anyway, Joe's actually back to talk to us about this topic of patience, which we hope you have plenty of for us today. So, Joe, go ahead and take it away,
Yes. Well,
please.
thank you, Joe. I will take it. um, no, this has been a great week. All the things we've talked about with patients, it's been fantastic, and I'm glad that you guys have been patient with us as we go through these things because patience is one of those virtues. It's really really difficult to master. In fact, I think we started the week talking about how some say that it is the most difficult of the virtues to master, because it really requires us to, you know, be rid of ourselves and our, immediate wants and desires and everything. And we have to have that extra load of grace for other people and for the world in general. Because sometimes we just have to wait. And sometimes we just have to wait for somebody to fix their attitude. And, sometimes we gotta, I mean, and also be patient with ourselves when we're the ones that are causing problems. And we have to extend that grace to ourselves while also trying to make the situation better, trying to fix whatever issue that is. But since we're not perfect and since we screw up, patience is one of those key things that comes into play that just smooths everything out. And the title of this one is A Life of Tranquility. This is the where we talk about what happens in your life as a result of having patience. And it really is that life of tranquility. When you have that patience with other people, with yourself, and with the world around you, everything that's going on, you can approach it in a patient manner. Your whole life just takes on this tranquil, peaceful uh, demeanor, and you can really weather anything because you have this patience. And really, I understand we all have urgent situations. We all have things going on. Very, very few of those urgent situations are life and death, a matter of life and death. Most of them are just things that we've conjured. We think they're like super important, and they might impact our lives in big ways, right? But really, if we react with a lack of patience, a lot of times what happens is we start to do things in a super duper fast and kind of a sloppy manner, and we might not do quite as good of a job. One of the things that comes to mind is I remember, I don't know if happens in real life, but I know that in some movies I've seen, there are people in Asian cultures that they're drawing their language, the characters of their language, and they spend a great deal of time, um, you know, actually making each stroke perfect and beautiful and everything like that. And when you see something done with patience, it's beautiful and it can be quite sublime. And or you can see like sometimes you can see the Zen rock gardens. They've got the sand and the rocks and they place everything and they've got the rain. What happens is a thing of beauty at that point because they took their time. They were patient with that process and they made sure everything was just right. And in the process, they were relaxed and calm. And it was an exercise not only in creating something beautiful, but in calming their soul while they did this, right? It's an amazing thing. So I mean, if you can live your life with this patience, you will create things of beauty, calm, and you'll be like a great, like when people see you, they'll see a non-threatening, just full person, and the peace in your heart as the is wonderful, wonderful. That's what I have to start us off, and I'm turning it over to Joe. Joe,
Thanks, Joe. Yeah,
you're welcome.
I like this idea of like tranquil thing. If you've ever been to like a lake or any kind of body of water where it's just not moving, it's just perfectly smooth. Um, and you're like, I really don't want to touch that because it's just peaceful, and that's really nice. And it's nice to just not have things going on for a second. That's kind of what it's like when you kind of show that level of peace to other people. They're like, wow, this is really nice. I'd like to just kind of sit here and be still too. Um, People who have that kind of level of patience really affect many other people. We highly encourage you to kind of live this life of patience. It's good for you. It's good for other people. There really aren't a whole lot of downsides to being patient. This isn't to say like don't do anything or wait too long or opportunities pass you. It just means that you recognize what's happening in your life and you give it the opportunity and the time that it needs, not rushing through things or not forgiving others for their faults. So um, the really the life of tranquility that we're talking about is something that we want for each of you. It's something that we want for ourselves. I don't know that I'm not there yet. I'm definitely not there yet. Um, because the really cool thing about patience and living this life of tranquility is it doesn't matter what's going on elsewhere. You can still have it. It doesn't matter with everything that's going on in the world right now. You can still have tranquility. You can still have this level of peace that comes with patience, comes with waiting. And so that's really why we wanted to talk to you on this topic. You know, in case you thought that maybe we came up with our topics pretty willy nilly and whatever, they do have to do with what's going on in the world. They always will. Um, so it's kind of a great idea for you to look at, for you to say, hey, you know what? Joe and Joe are talking about this because it's going to make a meaningful impact on what I'm dealing with right now. Um, and patience is going to have a meaningful impact with what you're dealing with right now. Um, and the nice thing about this is I'm saying it, and it doesn't matter when you watch this video. You could be watching like 9, 10 weeks after we release it. It's still going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a changing thing. So, um, we what we have you do is is to just learn to wait. I think I talked about it earlier on. I used Ryan's example of just looking at a sandwich um, earlier this week, but it can really be anything. Teaching yourself to wait, even if that means like watching a show on TV, which sounds really strange, but having to wait for it to come on instead of just Google searching some episodes. Um, you know, wanting to go, play some video games or something, and before you do that, you know, going and just sitting somewhere peacefully for a little bit. Um, there are lots of ways to kind of train this into your life that can be really helpful. The other thing about patience that you're going to find, especially very early on, or at least this is what I found, is as you try to be at peace, as you try to be still with what you're dealing with, your mind is going to want to not do that. Your brain is going to be like flying at like 1,000 miles an hour because you're like, why aren't you occupying my extra capacity? Your brain's going to ask you, why aren't you filling all of my available time?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're going to find is in those moments, your brain is going to go to the things that you really actually need to deal with. Some of the things that are like really important in your life that are really hurting you right now. Um, so I want to encourage you as you practice this to recognize that it's going to bring out some things that might seem a little tough to deal with, and that's important. That's going to be really important as you go forward in developing this life of tranquility to deal with the things that come up in your moments of patience, to deal with these emotions and the thoughts that come up when you're not occupying yourself with something else, um, because they're actually they're actually there all the time. They're actually things that are nagging at you all of your life, but you haven't sat down enough to deal with them. So I highly encourage you to do that safely. Obviously, if you're dealing with some pretty traumatic things, maybe you need to talk to somebody or have somebody there. But recognize that part of the tranquility that comes through patience is dealing with the turmoil. Um, so we don't want to surprise you by that. We don't want you to go out there and be like, yes, patience, it's going to come super easy, and we just merrily walk into patience, and there you go. Like Joe said, it's a really important virtue, and it's one of the harder virtues because it really involves dealing with yourself, with others, and the vast majority of life. So I think I've talked enough. I'm gonna pass it back to Joe, who's gonna like kind of say more intelligible things.
Yes, I am. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I think there's a few things you can do to achieve this as you move forward, and some things that have helped me. One is to begin a practice of meditation, some kind of time where you're quieting your mind. I do this every morning, actually. It's one of the first things I do in the morning. So I get up, I I get out of bed. I'm always exhausted because I don't sleep very much. So I'm like, so I roll out of bed. I'm like, "Ah, yeah, okay. I run upstairs, you know, because my bed is downstairs. I go upstairs and do the morning routine, get some coffee, get some first water first. There's a big step. If
Mm,
you're drinking coffee first thing in the morning, then that's fine. But put a big, huge thing of water before your coffee. So that should be the first thing because you're probably dehydrated. So water first, then coffee, then, you know, then I usually at that point I come back and I find a place to sit and I just sit quietly.
mm,
And I try to just clear my mind of everything. Because a lot of times in the morning, my mind starts to race like immediately. So, because, I don't know why, it just does. So I have to actively quiet my mind. And that's what meditation is. So if you can just dismiss your thoughts, you consciously say, if a thought comes into your head, you dismiss it. Say, thank you, you're dismissed. Thank you, you're dismissed. And dismiss thoughts until finally it's empty. And I spend some time in prayer and I spend some time just existing.
mm,
And so as I do that, as I spend that time in silence, it's kind of like a reboot, or I'm resetting myself really because I'm just emptying everything out, all the clutter and all the junk and all the racing mental stuff, right? Purge that and sit there, just exist. And I do that for a few minutes. I pray, and I exist. And that is such a great foundation. I don't always do that. Sometimes I get to do it throughout the day. Sometimes I get to take a few minutes here and there and just do that. And I know a lot of times when things are building up and I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on and I'm starting to get a little bit overwhelmed, it's the perfect time to reboot because then it reminds you, okay, pretty much everything can wait.
Mm.
It can wait just a few minutes anyway. I mean, if you're a first responder and somebody's dying right there and you need to do CPR, probably not the time to meditate, probably the time to try and save a life. But then afterward, like, if you have a moment after dealing with all that stress, then maybe it'd be good to take a time and just exist. So that's one thing. The second thing that I've found that is helpful in developing patience is just to always have it in the back of my mind. I try to. As I'm going throughout my day, as I'm going through everything, I just try to always have in the back of my mind, I live with patience. I'm living with patience. I'm growing in patience. This is one of my goals. And so as I'm going throughout my day and as all the things throughout the day happen, whether it's an irate homeowner that I deal with in the inspections world, or whether it's, dealing with a phone call to an insurance company, which takes forever, and it's gonna be frustrating, or whatever thing that can happen. Maybe it's going to the store and trying to maintain social distancing while people are increasingly not caring about stuff like that. But I have to be extra vigilant, and there's all kinds of things that go along with that in my mind. And it's in moments like that, as things start to well up, I can remind myself because I have it in the back of my mind, try to live with patience. And just saying that to myself helps. It helps calm me down a little bit. It helps me kind of refocus a little bit. And what happens is things get cleared out of your mind so you can truly focus on what you're trying to do. When you live with patience and you're able to say, okay, I'm living with patience, you're calm. And as you become calm, you can focus so much more and be more effective on the things that you're going to be doing. They have a saying. I've done some Krav Maga, which is an Israeli martial art, and it's really pretty fun. I don't do it right now because there's a lot of grappling involved, so you gotta like grab people and tackle them, and do all kinds of stuff like that. Um, but in Krav Maga, one of the things they say is slow is fast. And the reason for that is they're like, okay, when you're doing some kind of a move, take it really slow because then you will be precise and you will do it correctly. And when you do it correctly, when you have the form correctly and you do it slow, you're going to be relaxed. And in a relaxed state, you can go faster. Like if you're tense and everything and you try to do something, you're going to end up being slower. But if you're relaxed, you don't have a whole bunch of extra movement and muscle tension. You just end up, you can do the moves so much faster. It's the same in percussion. Anytime you hear somebody like beating really, really fast, going this, right? We tend to think of a tense like, yeah, and that's kind of what it sounds like, right? But in reality, the person who's playing that super fast is most likely extremely relaxed because that's the way you achieve a faster speed in music and playing an instrument and martial arts and all that. So that relaxation can actually make things go smoother and quicker. When the goal of us being tense, usually we're like, I'm trying to get this done fast. I'm trying to go fast and we're tense. But all we need to do is have some patience, relax, and we end up going faster result. Really interesting. Kind of a weird dichotomy. That's it. So,
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, that's true. And I've heard that particular saying, variations of it, many many times. So, one of the things, guys, to consider is that one of the benefits of patience, the reason that you can end up so tranquil, is the idea that you've placed things rightly. So you'll note that Joe said earlier, um, if you're a first responder, it might be important that you don't go ahead and meditate before you try to save somebody's life, um, which I would tend to agree with. Um, so one of the things you realize is, all right, what really is important here? Do I really need to be as worried about the thing that I'm worried about right now, or can I take a second and put it in its right place? So, in both my jobs, one of the wonderful things I've got to do is when things get kind of stressful, um, as either a golf pro or an accountant, it's like, doesn't matter how bad it gets, nobody's really dying in what I do. Nobody's, you know, I don't have to worry about screwing somebody's taxes up and they like die. That doesn't happen. In fact, it's really easy to fix taxes if somebody screws up. Everybody thinks like, oh, you're screwed, you're going to jail. And it's like, no, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Um, which I think the people that need to hear that um, are the people who aren't really going to be causing problems with their taxes anyway. I think they like to sit on the idea of, oh, we want people to be stressed about their taxes, so they pay them and they're worried about it, and all the people who are not actually caring about paying their taxes don't care anyway. So
right.
the people who do care about paying their taxes and getting it right need to hear, hey, got time. The IRS is not going to come busting down your door just because you're a couple of days late. Relax, pay your bill, live your life. It's great, and I think there's a lot of that in life where we need to just tell ourselves, hey, take a bit of a breath. It's going to be fine. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, isn't the end of the world. And to have people be patient with what they're dealing with. Man, it sounds like I have that down. I made that sound really easy. That it's not. It's really not as easy as I just said. I still go to work sometimes and get really stressed. Um, it's okay. It's okay. Be patient with yourself. We talked about that earlier on in the week. You know, as you're learning this, you're growing as somebody of patience. It's okay to not have it down quite this fast. So, um, but it is important to know what you need to do and where you want to go, so that you can learn and grow and become better at this topic and all the topics we have to talk about. So, please stick around, come back. We would love to have you next week. Next week, we're talking about forgiveness because we really want you to forgive us for all the mistakes we've made on the show.
Exactly. That's
But
totally it.
but also because there's a lot of benefits to doing that. So that's what we're going to talk about all next week. It is going to be super fun. We hope you're here. Please come back. We do love having you guys here and talking and enjoying our conversations in the chat, whatever they are, however weird they get. It's always worth it. Speaking of weird, okay, maybe not that weird. Tomorrow's Free for All Friday, where we do topics provided by you, the chat, and we try not to research it so that we can fumble through things as best we can. So if you can explain the topic as clearly as possible, so that when we fumble over things, it's because we don't know. It's not because we're confused on what the topic is. So this week, I believe it's from Amira, and it's the science of light, which is actually an interesting topic. I know a little bit about it. but not enough that either of us are going to conduct a science lesson on it tomorrow. So it should be interesting. I'm really excited, and I think Joe looks like he might be too.
Yes. I'm always excited for Free for All Friday. It's a fun time.
hmm and as Joe said on the show before, I'll say again, if you guys come up with enough topics, like we'll add another day. And to the point that like this entire show could just be topics you guys throw at us that we're just like two kind of average Joes trying to answer, talk about.
Right?
Um, so I mean, it's anything in the world. It might seem very meaningless. It might seem very meaningful, but man, we would love to discuss things and talk to you guys and see how things are going. But for now, we're going to go on to forgiveness next week. It's going to be super exciting. Starting on Monday at 6 o'clock. Joe talked about a little bit earlier. He's going to work on some production things. At some point, the show might change in format slightly. And we will let you guys know. It's not going to be a surprise. We're not trying to like, ha ha ha, tricked you.
Right.
You woke up at 6 and we're not here at all. You will have a bit of an advance notice. So
Yes, there will be an announcement.
and it'll be exciting.
Probably multiple announcements. This is the first of the announcements.
Yep, it's so early. It's just generally announcing that something in the future might happen.
Yes. Change is afoot.
No, I like my feet.
Ah. I like your feet too.
Thanks.
A foot is change.
Just change it.
Change is a foot. A foot is change. That's weird. Because if change is a foot, then a foot is change.
Yes, that's true. The law of equal things. Yes.
Like, hi, change.
Oh boy. All right.
Change is a foot.
This is
Change is a foot in your face.
yes. If I had a foot in my face, things would change very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we've reached kind of the end of our discussion here today. Please come back tomorrow.
Hey,
If you're lucky, you will.
yeah.
Please come back tomorrow at 6 a.m. We're gonna go again, talking about our free for all Friday topic, and then we will also have Don't Fret Friday tomorrow. So Fridays are really exciting here at Black Static and Swerve. So we hope you come back and get excited for some cool things we're coming up with. We are really excited about where things are moving, and we hope you are too.
Yes.
And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to either Joe or Joe, and one of us will get back to you and talk about something. And now we're gonna have Fight Club on air.
Fight Club.
Social distancing Fight Club.
I missed. I missed again.
Ugh.
I missed again.
Yeah, we might have to think of something else. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping out. We look forward to seeing you again soon. We will talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye.
You guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.